I would sit down with groups and talk about, frustrations within an organization. They'd tell me most of the time it was.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
I was working in corporate America. I was in a software development company, and I started to meet with a bunch of CIOs and COOs of companies trying to figure out what their needs were. And I would ask them questions such as, what are your vision? What's your vision for your company? What's your vision for your network? What's your vision for, your software? And most of the time, they couldn't tell me what their overall vision was. They could tell me maybe what they wanted out of performance, but they didn't know what they wanted overall. And that oftentimes it led into discussions about other aspects of the business where they were unclear. So these CIOs and COOs, well, we don't really know what the vision is. We're just sort of operating the best that we know how. And as someone who has led and was leading at the time, I know how important vision is to leadership in general. And if someone doesn't have a vision, they're lost. Over the years, I would begin to do more quantitative studies or qualitative studies where I would sit down with groups and talk about, frustrations within an organization. They'd tell me most of the time it was, I don't really know what's expected of me. I don't really know how I'm contributing. And so that bothered me enough to where I knew that I had to do something about it, because if people are lost and there's a lot of frustrated people in the marketplace today, we're not producing the best that we can without clarity. And so I wanted to launch a company where I'd help people discover what their purpose is, the purpose of their company, purpose of why they're at the company, what their vision is. Where are we headed as individuals? We have this one and only life. We have this one and only organization. We can do whatever we want with it, but we have to have clarity. And then the last piece that I help my clients with is the disciplines. And that's the real key, is once you have a clear purpose and you have a clear vision, well, now you got to put the disciplines in place. And so my company focuses on the execution piece, where we get all those things mapped out, and then everything's about development, leadership development. So we have various OnLead programs. OnLead is our flagship leadership development program, and we'll be offering that in Youngstown in September, and it's open. So that means that any organization can enroll, and it's really great because you have multiple organizations that are represented, and they're able to, in those sessions, it's one session a month for 8 months, 3 hours at a time, and then everyone gets a one-on-one coaching session in between to help with discipline and integration. But they come together, and there's all these different perspectives that leaders learn from each other with. And different perspectives help to expand our mind and give us more creativity and more options. And so that's coming in September. Also, another thing, this shameless plug, my book, The Leadership Edge, just came out, and it is all about how you develop leaders. I wrote it to give to HR directors, CEOs, CFOs on how to develop people in their organization with leadership so they don't need us.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.